Mass Effect 3, a game inside a movie. Did it age well? Let's find out in the sections below. First section is the story. One of the best openings in gaming history, and one of the worst endings, if not the worst ending ever. There were 8 writers and 1 lead writer during Mass Effect trilogy. When Mass Effect 3 reached its final stage, from Leviathan to the ascending ending, there were only 2 writers remaining. EA pressed them, they threw away indoctrination theory aside and gave us 3 colors ending. Outrage worldwide, EA didn't care, devs resigned, writers resigned, no one cared about Mass Effect 3 anymore. Players cared though, and stupid EA closed the series in the worst possible way ever. Old BioWare was officially gone. So, we go back to story now, let's be clear. Journey was great, story was full with great moments along the way, and if we exclude that last 20% of the game, it was really great. I'll give you one example how unfinished the story was. It doesn't include the garbage ending. When Shepard meets the creator of Reapers, discovers the truth behind the biggest mystery in the galaxy, not a single soul reacts in the entire galaxy about that discovery. Gyros is talking about Liara's hair, for example, Tali about ship engines, Shepard acts like nothing ever happened, like Leviathan didn't tell anything to him, and Catalyst has only one line in the ending about the same topic. This topic deserves entire video on its own, to be honest. Conversations were mostly solved in 2 different ways during the entire game. Those were your choices. 2 ways, always. No matter how great the story was with limited choices, nothing mattered in the end. You would always get the same endings, with or without support of the entire galaxy. 6 out of 10 for story. It was ruined, to be honest. Next section, game bugs and optimization. No bugs, no glitches, without stutters, extremely fast loading times. The game was done well, I got no complaints about it, 10 out of 10. Game time is the next section. It's a long game with a low replay value. Took around 50 to 60 hours to finish all missions, side quests and DLCs on insanity difficulty. So, along with all the conversations in the game, you can top out to 60 hours. 9 out of 10. Game difficulty is the next section. AI is not brain dead as in Mass Effect 2, for example. They will circle around you, they'll throw bombs to get you out of cover and so on. On Insanity difficulty, they're not as big bullet sponges as in Mass Effect 2 also. Difficulty is satisfying, in other words. Ammo is plenty this time, puzzles and hacking are completely removed, so only shooting remains. 8 out of 10. Maps and graphics. Graphics are fine. They're holding on in 2020, nothing special. Fine is the right word. Face and face animations are still great, huge amount of worlds and different maps to visit and explore. DLCs offer Citadel nightlife, Omega shooting parts, and a great part with diving in search for Leviathan. Remaster version would be great, especially if that remaster is counted for the last 20% of the game. 8 out of 10 for maps and graphics. Next section, gameplay. The most important part. Gameplay is great. This time, Mass Effect 3 is 90% solid third-person duck and cover shooter and only 10% an RPG. A mini game inside a huge movie. That's what it is. You'll shoot with plenty different weapons, incinerate and freeze enemies, throw them around the maps like ragdolls and similar. I won't lie, combat is good. Repetitive but good. Mining is removed, hacking is removed, everything that you can imagine for RPG genre is removed, and the game even offers action playthrough instead of RPG choices and consequences playthrough. As in Mass Effect 2, again, Shepard's character saves Mass Effect 3 and hides its flaws as best as it can. Movement is solid this time, it's not clunky anymore, aiming system is improved. It's a fluid experience, 7 out of 10. Leveling and itemization. Everything I said in my review for Mass Effect 2 applies here also. It's just done a bit better because of the added weapon mods and stat lines instead of numbers from Mass Effect 1. It's still a very simple leveling and itemization system. 6 out of 10. NPCs and Enemies as the next section. Best NPCs, best companions, and ex-companions ever, if they survived from previous games, of course. Enemies diversity is very low in Mass Effect 3 though. I get the feeling like you fight Cerberus more than Reapers. It's Cerberus on every corner. It feels weird, and it was a very stupid choice from the devs. I don't know whose idea this was, but I know one thing, it sucks. AI is far better than in Mass Effect 1 and 2. All in all, this section is a downgrade if we compare it to Mass Effect 1 and 2. 7 out of 10. Music and sound as the last section. Mass Effect 3 music is just legendary. I would give it 20 out of 20 if I could. Epic songs, got no words for songs in this game. Best piano themes in gaming history for sure. Too bad they fucked up with the story so much. Voice acting is also superb. Sound effects are great. It's a no-brain 10 out of 10. Conclusion. We got 71 points in 9 sections, and that would be 7.8 out of 10 for Mass Effect 3. You maybe noticed that I gave bigger score to Mass Effect 3 than Mass Effect 2, and I still believe that Mass Effect 2 is a far better game than Mass Effect 3. It's only numbers at the end of the day. What can I do? Mass Effect 2 failed in graphics. It had a lot of bugs. It was not optimized well, and gameplay was just mediocre, but it nailed immersion and story. Mass Effect 3 failed in immersion and story, destroyed characters, took a shit on entire franchise with the last 20% of the game, especially that ending. But it nailed gameplay, music, graphics, and it was optimized to perfection. They're complete opposites from one another, Mass Effect 2 and Mass Effect 3. My biggest wish during this lifetime would be to see a full Mass Effect franchise reworked. They could take exploration, mystery, leveling, and itemization stats with actual numbers from Mass Effect 1. They could take immersion and storytelling from Mass Effect 2 and change Mass Effect 3 ending with that storytelling. And they could take gameplay, optimization, and music from Mass Effect 3. Just imagine how great would that be. It would be huge, legendary. They could even eclipse Witcher 3 with that. Stupid EA has a hidden gold mine, but they're too blind to see that. They could easily rework entire franchise, change the ending, and make solid ground for Mass Effect 4. Hell, they could even make one huge Mass Effect from 200 hours from all 3 games. I wish to see that happen in my lifetime, even though I know chances are next to nothing. Mass Effect is a great franchise. It was ahead of its time. And unfortunately, re-EA-pers happened and BioWare got indoctrinated. Rest in peace, old BioWare, and thank you for Dragon Age Origins, MDK, Star Wars, Neverwinter Nights, Baldur's Gate, and Mass Effect. Burn in hell, EA.